What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the DGD Podcast. As always, I'm Robert, and that's Keon right there in the building. Got an absolutely loaded show. There's tons to talk about. First things first, the show is brought to you by friends over at the Fans First Sports Network. We are proudly part of that network. DGDpod.com/FFSN. Go look them up. Go follow all their social media. NFL, MLB, NBA. You want it, they got it. Go check them out. Keon, also, you see this shirt, my man? See this shirt? Yeah, guess where I got it?
Where?
I got it at Alumni Hall, which also sponsors the show. DGDpod.com/Alumni Hall. Go to that link, shop around, 8% to the Classic City Collective. Anything licensed, or everything is actually licensed. Shirts, polos, hoodies, drinkware, all of it. You name it, they got it. That is Alumni Hall, folks. Also, if you go in stores, 10% off if you mention the show. So do yourself a favor, save 10% if you're in the Athens area. If you can't make it to Athens, that's okay. We got you covered. DGDpod.com/Alumni Hall. Shop our link. 8% goes to the Classic City Collective. So you supporting them dogs as well. Keon, I said we got a loaded show, my man. We are not lying. First things first, we got to talk about the hot topic around the world of college football right now. You have schools like Texas, USC, and Nebraska that have come out already saying that their spring games, they are canceling them. And part of me believes it's due to the fact that they may be afraid of tampering. I think Nebraska went on record already with Matt Rule and said he don't want that because he's afraid of his team getting poached. The question here from between Georgia and the Georgia fan base, is G-Day in doubt? What do you think?
I'm going to say hell no. I think that G-Day should be full stage go, right? So here's my thing, right? To the Georgia fans that are potentially nervous about us losing G-Day, understand we need G-Day because we don't know who our quarterback is going to be. And to be all the way real, I don't think our quarterback is going to be decided before G-Day. I don't.
It's very possible that you're right.
Like I don't think that's decided before we go into G-Day. I really don't.
I think you're onto something with that. I think there's too many question marks on this team right now to not have it.
Right.
And also, I mean, even on top of that, though, right? Like, we had the 2016 G-Day, right? Kirby's first G-Day, 93K day. Remember that? Now, we haven't had that situation yet, but I would honestly love to see I'd love to see a packed Sanford Stadium. You see what I'm saying? Do I think we'll have it during the day? Sure. But, I think it was South Carolina did their spring game at night, right? How badass would it be if Georgia did G-Day at night? Did it at night, right?
Fireworks ceremony.
And the fireworks and stuff like that. Like, I really think it would be – I don't see this happening. This is definitely wishful thinking on my part right now. It would be so badass to sit there and watch that under the lights. The black jerseys at night would be cool to watch. We see the black jerseys every year anyway for G-Day. The only time we see the black jerseys, if you will, outside of recruiting visits. But it'd be just cool because, Georgia took on the fireworks and really just ran with it. And that was something I thought was awesome to do. Again, it'll probably be a noon G-Day if it's done. I'm just going to be honest with you. But can a man think and dream? Kirby's going to crush my hopes and dreams anyway. But it'd be cool. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that would be great. I think when you're at a school, like, I think it's great. I don't think we do that shit at all. I think when you're at a school like South Carolina, where you're really trying to find ways to keep fans and faculty and staff more in tuned and more energized, I think you go with that kind of stuff. Kirby, absolutely not. Because one thing people have to understand with these spring games, they're net losses. I know you
Yeah.
as a guy who loves logistics. Uh, Net losses, pretty big fucking deal. So
Yeah. Well, that's why I mean, to be fair, I think you started to look at situations where, Georgia's, admission is $5 and stuff like that. So they're trying to recoup it, especially with the NIL front now. That's been something that they've kind of done. But I mean, at the same time, though, like $5 to get into a game, even if the problem is it's not like it's a glorified scrimmage, but still, nonetheless, $5 to see the team, get a good scrimmage. I think that's a reasonable bargain, regardless. But getting back to this G-Day thing, I just think.
I mean, I would love. I do want to put this out there. Would love to go to G-Day myself personally. I'm just trying to find. I'll be real with you, Rob. I'm trying to find my way to that sideline, man. If I can find my way to that Georgia sideline or either sideline, hell, at G-Day, I'd definitely be there.
I mean, to be fair, we've got some folks that listen. Make it happen, folks. Just see what you can do, right? Sir, get the frog out your throat, man. You okay?
Oh,
I mean, I'm in the house of pain, so just slide on through.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Maybe I should put on my UNT hoodie just to get in there or something,
I see what you did there. But no, I'm looking at this right here, though, man. Like, I don't think G-Day is in doubt. And the reason why I say that is because Kirby Smart has built Georgia into a program right now that it doesn't matter if you host a spring game or not. Everybody in the country is coming for your players. You just have that kind of depth and you recruit that well. It's a year-round thing, in my opinion. You always have to be mindful that stuff like that can happen. And so closing down a spring game is not going to fix it's not going to solve that problem. If anything, it pisses your fan base off because it was a good way to watch your game watch a cheap game. Even if it's not against another opponent, it's a good way to see Georgia players, right? Good fanfare type thing, And if you cancel that, what is that telling your fan base? You see what I'm saying?
You remember this time last year we was talking about, man, I can't wait for the spring game. And then the spring game happens. And I'll never forget Dominic Lovett trying to go up for a pass, which, for what it's worth, he caught it. It just wouldn't have been ruled a touchdown.
Good point.
When Buddy went flying, and you remember this play, when Buddy went flying into the hedges and broke the brand new gate, I was like,
it was the game-winning touchdown in theory.
I think they ruled it a touchdown, and I was just like, damn, that poor gate.
We got, let's see, we're going to take a quick second to do a roll call real fast. We got Jay Shiesty in the building, Tyree, and Brodo Baggins. Guys, how's everybody doing tonight? Guys, if you're listening on audio, folks, we do this live at 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, liking and subscribing, right? But on audio, right? Spotify. You can actually watch this now too. So, just a fun little fact there. Apple Podcasts, we ain't forget about you. Anyways, we get back to it. G-Day, right? Keon, I find it ironic that the three schools that have come out canceling their spring game, Texas, USC, Nebraska. Do you see anything in common? Do you see anything in common with those three? What do you see?
Big NIL spenders, big poachers of I mean, they're the ones tampering with rosters. I mean, and that's just what it is. Texas, I'm not gonna lie, I fully understand it. I mean, you're paying top dollar for your roster. You want to make sure ain't nobody going nowhere. So I'm not gonna sit up here.
It's just funny to me how that worked out because the teams that are dropping the most money are scared of losing talent. Why would they do so? Why would we see that?
Why? Because their rosters aren't deep enough for it to not matter. Like Georgia, I mean, we got a spring game. We cannot add a spring game. The roster's deep as fuck, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, people poach our roster every year. Doesn't matter.
I look back on last year though, Keon. Keep in mind, you remember when we kind of sat there and just like were just baffled at what Ole Miss was doing in regards to their spring game.
I'm not gonna lie. You're seeing people play basketball and full pads and helmet, yamming shit. By the way, like from a fan aspect, looked really entertaining. Like I was like, whoa, they got a whole new twist. They're playing basketball on a football field, and then each score somebody had, they had the ability of going and dunking a basketball on the sideline. It just looked like a whole bunch of shit going on. And to be honest, I kind of dig it. I mean, hey.
It was their way, in my opinion, it was their way of not hosting a spring game to not get poked.
Also, do want to say this completely random, but I do feel like it needs to be said. Sonic, you should be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. Sonic sponsors the podcast.
If only. But either way, man,
love your shit, Sonic. If you need a good slushy, there's literally no better place to go than Sonic.
Free ad, right? Is what you're saying? Free ad.
That's how you do it.
Jay Shicey saying overpaid quarterbacks. I'm assuming he's talking about the schools that are kind of backing off the spring game. Maybe.
Boy, you know what? I'm so glad you brought up overpaid quarterbacks because that Jonas Williams kid just left Oregon. So
going to USC.
Yeah. So you know what that means, right?
Oh, are we talking 2026 recruiting here, Keon, for a second?
Just a little bit, right? Just a skosh.
Oh.
This does mean that they are about to full court press for Jared Wilson.
Jared Curtis, you mean?
Jared Curtis. We actually miss you, Jared Wilson.
West Forsyth.
Damn.
I see you out there.
He went to West Forsyth?
West Forsyth in North Carolina, yeah.
Damn. Yeah. How much of this roster is from North Carolina?
But there's we ain't careful. We digging down a rabbit hole, but
no. But let's come back. Let's come back. So Jared Curtis,
correct?
Curtis. Oregon is gonna now probably full court press Jared Curtis. I almost did it again. And yeah, Rider Lions out there from Bay Area, who is set to go on, I believe, a Mormon trip. So he'll be back.
The Mormon, is he doing the Mormon mission? What you're saying?
Yeah, Mormon mission, and then he should be back. I think 2027. So technically, Rider Lions is a 2027 kid. Just a little tidbit out there for you Georgia fans. Don't be surprised. I do think they turn up the heat. I do think Georgia probably. See, that's the thing with Kirby Smart, especially with Dan Lanning. This is my line of thinking. That was a great burp. But this is my line of thinking because I'm a psycho, right? Dan used to work for Kirby here at Georgia, clearly. Dan and Kirby, good friends, clearly. You can't tell me that these guys are not having deep conversation about, hey, man, well, we just lost a quarterback. We're going to go all in on this guy. Excuse me. But we're also looking at Rider Lions. Kirby's probably told him, hey, look, man, we got
Yeah, Landon
Jared
Duckworth potentially
Curtis.
too.
Dude, look, let me tell you, between the three, and I'm telling Oregon fans, I'm telling everybody, like, look, between Landon Duckworth, Keyshawn Henderson, which to all Georgia friends, family, and potential staff that are watching this, as a Texan, this guy is like the next Jaden Daniels. Like it's Rob. Everybody who's listening to this, if you have not seen his junior year huddle, you are wasting time. Literally, if you have not watched this, if you have not watched his junior year tape, you are wasting time. If you haven't watched it, don't tell me about no other quarterback. Don't tell me about, if you have not seen his tape, you're wasting time. You need to watch that shit. It is straight up Heisman Trophy Jaden Daniels in a junior year tape, bro. Like, this guy's got it. Now, I will tell you this. That Landon Duckworth kid, he's fucking insane. Like, it's real crazy. Some of these quarterbacks, some of these quarterbacks, man, got real real MV, like, I ain't gonna, like, you know what I mean? Real NFL quarterback comps that you can look at and be like, oh shit, that looked like Lamar. Oh shit, that looked like Jaden.
You know, it's still funny, Keon. All these guys you listed, and the number one quarterback, really the number one overall, is 30 minutes away from me. Georgia fans don't want to hear it, but that is what it is.
Can we be honest about that? Let's be honest. Let's have a real conversation with the cameras rolling.
Unbiased, okay? Let's do this.
You and I both know that Faison Brandon shit to Tennessee, that shit ain't going like that. That kid probably go to, he gonna probably either go to Bama, kid probably either gonna go to like Ohio State or some other shit. He ain't going there.
Yeah, he is. I see it. Yeah, I don't see it unchanged.
You don't see it changing?
No. I think he's solid.
I think that Tennessee shit over there is bullshit.
I think he'll be fine. I think he stays. That's just me.
What gives you, like, do you feel like he's that locked into the bullshit?
Yeah, just talking to him enough to know. Yeah. Yeah. It ain't hard to listen to him. You kind of get that, like, you get that vibe, like, you just, I don't know how to really explain it. Like, you be around him and stuff, you just get that vibe. It's like, yeah, he's set. Like,
okay. I mean, I get that. I just, fam, all I'm saying is, for the Tennessee fans that try to push this narrative, even with Nico, did you feel that Nico performed at the level that you were hearing from not only the media but even Tennessee fans of what he was going to be?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't follow him enough to really give a true judgment. But I mean, for me personally, I need quarterbacks. You got to see them in person, man. There's no tape's going to be honest with you. You just got to see them in person. That's why it's hard for me to really say anything unless I see them in person. So,
no, I feel that.
Is it, like, for instance, like if you go back and I know Georgia fans might get salty about this, but it is North Carolina, and I feel the need to talk about it. The tape that he put out this past season with Grimsley and everything. If you go watch it when they're at home, Jamison Stadium is big. It's a big stadium, dude. It holds like 10,000 people.
Oh wow!
And so the film, it's from a distance, right? It's one of these things where the film can almost be deceitful in a sense, because like you'll see a ball go 50 yards, 50, 60 yards, whatever. But until you're on the sideline, once you're on the sideline and you see it happen in real time, that's when it changes because the film, it doesn't look like it's coming out that fast. But when you're on the sideline and you hear it and you watch it go 60 yards into a tight window for a touchdown, it changes your perspective from in-person perspective. So is it justified why he's number one at this point? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I was, even myself, even into the last season before Grimsley really started their season, and they had a gauntlet in the non-conference schedule.
Fam, I have not heard you talk about any player out of North Carolina like I have heard you talk about Faison.
Well, dude,
I think, and then watching the games, like, bro, just watching the film from like shit that you showed me, like off air, it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, even in coming into the season, Grimsley had lost Alex Taylor to UNC. They lost Terrell Anderson to Duke, which obviously you remember Georgia was in on heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose literally two outside guys. And before the season, I don't know if you remember, Keon, but I called out some people. I was like, I think you'll see Mitchell Summers be the lead to the offense. That's the running back going to Sacred Heart. So glad he got an offer, man. So glad.
Wait, was that the kid that you were telling me about that went through the whole year without like getting an offer anywhere, but was like putting up?
Dude,
like,
I watched him play
numbers?
Rolesville. Yeah, I watched him play Rolesville last year, and he had 6 touchdowns in the game, 5 in the first half. And Rolesville, they this past season they played in the state title game. But the year before, when he was a junior, I watched him take off and 6 touchdowns, 100 and some yards. Like, yeah, and he's going to Sacred Heart. But going back to Faison, I was, kind of looking into it and kind of seeing like what's it going to look like. I had my predictions on like Caden Cato, the receiver. I
Love
talked about
that
that.
name.
Yeah, always a top-notch name. You had DJ Howerson, tight end, SEC offers.
Sounds like a tight end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's good.
German
so,
kid?
like, no.
Howerson?
Howerton, Howerton. Yeah, Howerton.
Okay.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, so you sit there and do that, and then obviously you got Bryce Davis on the defense, right? Andre Hill, Kasai, bunch of guys going off. Get them to the state title game, win a state title, beat Rolesville again. Good game. Got our guy Xavion over there on Rolesville. Remember Xavion? But yeah, it was just one of those things where Faison, when he needed to, he was able to deliver, and you get a feel for how comfortable he was, man. Like that in the preseason, in the spring, in the summer, and everything. You just saw how comfortable he was putting the ball in different windows and stuff. It was tight windows, so you're like, dude, he's comfortable in this offense. Boom, there you go, and it shows. So it's like, so of course, I mean, seeing him going on, seeing him since he was a freshman, like. Yeah, I was like at that point, you just see him, you're like, dude, this kid's gonna be something. Like I know we just went on a rant, like a little tangent about a Tennessee commit, but knowing this show, knowing how we cover high school recruiting, I got to keep it real for you, man. Yeah.
Damn, he gonna make Tennessee quarterbacks look legit over there.
We'll see. I still think it's a gimmick, but I ain't gonna sit there and try to persuade a kid to go elsewhere. I ain't gonna do that. But I mean, I will say though, when you think about what he did at Grimsley and the offenses they run, I think it's a good fit too. That's the thing. It's a good fit too, because he can go vertical, but he can also hit. He can hit, and that was something too. A lot of the times you had Terrell, you had Alex. You saw a lot of verts. You know what I mean? And they connected, but it was nice to see him hit different routes, timing routes, things like that this year. Kind of leads me to like, all right, he can make the throws, right? So it's just going to be interesting to see what happens when Tennessee gets there and what it looks like. But he can go vertical, he can hit any part of the field like that. So it makes sense to me.
I do think when it comes to the quarterback situation, bro, I really do hope. I hope we get one of those three quarterbacks. We get
And I
one of
do
those
too.
three quarterbacks.
I
We
mean,
get one of
who
those
would you
three,
who would
dude.
you want though? Would you want Henderson? Would you want uh, Curtis? Would you want Duckworth? Which one?
I'm gonna tell you this: it's Henderson at one for me. Is bro because that I'm just so here's what I'm thinking, Rob, and this is imagine we do a QB draw
QB
with
power or
QB power,
okay, okay.
shotgun at a shotgun. We do this at a shotgun. Any of the Georgia running backs, name them. Don't care. Yeah, name them. Don't care. And you see this big ass running back coming right off of the ass end of the left tackle, just straight up. And in comes Keyshawn right behind him, just going. Pick up the outside linebacker, like just knock him out, right? And they just handle him. I just it to me, it's real 2024 Baltimore Ravens vibes. Not necessarily with big ass Derrick Henry, but just the concept of a big ass running back leveling some shit while the quarterback is running the ball. To me, that's what we need here.
I mean, it definitely would be interesting. I would, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, Keon, thank you for sending us down the rabbit hole. I'm not even mad.
But no, the three out of the three, I got Keyshawn at one. I got Landon at two. Curtis is three for me.
Yeah, you see his tape and it makes sense. I can understand that. I think it would be that Duckworth Curtis. It's not as crazy as it sounds. Like all three are good in their own rights too, but I just want to see somebody play some elite talent and then go from there because like I don't understand. I'm not necessarily knocking it, but I just don't understand why we go for these private quarterbacks. Like, what are we looking at? What are we seeing? Right? Because we're just going off of, hey, they're on the roster. You can sit there and watch Duckworth and high-level Alabama football. And Henderson and Houston, there's some good football there too.
Shit, we got players on the roster right now that played in schools where Keyshawn is playing against. It's the same level. Bro, I'm telling you. Dude, look. I don't understand the whole private school quarterback shit either because 9 times out of 10, they're not playing any real comp. I want some guys that were look, you being a dog in private school ball is cool.
You're supposed that's expected too, by the way.
And it is because let's be real. Excuse me, you're not seeing a lot of dominant guys go to private school ball. And you're not getting a lot of top end recruits out of private school ball. Let's just be real. Right.
Yeah.
So I want to see the guys. I want us to go after those guys at the quarterback position that have played against real comp, played against some stiff comp, and dominated. Right. That's just what I want to see. And plus, we get another Texas quarterback. All I'm saying, it worked out the last time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see for sure.
And Bobo was the one that got him. Like this is all the same shit.
So you're saying the guy that everybody hates was the guy that got a Texas quarterback that was actually good? What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Stop.
number one quarterback in the nation at the time, Matthew Stafford.
Stop it. That's funny.
I met Bobo. I met Bobo one time off of that shit.
Oh, you did? Nice.
I was like a small child.
Oh my goodness, Keon. So we talked about G-Day. Listen, we'll wrap it up before we move on to the next segment. Here we go. From a Georgia perspective, I don't believe we're in doubt of missing out on G-Day. I just don't. And we've stated our case.
We got listen, Rob. We got too many questions that need to be answered, and that the fans need to see the answer for us to just cancel that shit. Like, people want to say, oh, well, Georgia should just cancel G-Day. I was like, okay, so you think Kirby, right? And I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not talking like I'm within the program, but let's be real. The whole fan base, who we going with for quarterback? Because half the fan base is, all right, we're going to ride it out with Gunner. And then there's the other half of the fan base is like, let's go with Pug. Now, me, I sit right in the middle because I can make an argument for both.
Mm-hmm.
The way how I feel, and this is just me, right? To the friends, family, coaches, players, to who might ever see this, understand this is just my perspective. This is Keon's perspective. If it's close between Ryan Puglisi and Gunnar Stockton, go with Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, you basically ride the experience is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. My thing is, like, Puglisi, you hear it from the team.
Wait.
Like,
I'm sorry. I may have said that backwards. If it's close between Gunnar Stockton and Ryan Puglisi, go with Ryan Puglisi. Take the younger guy.
I was about to say, I was trying to figure out what you were.
Take the younger guy.
And the hiccups with it?
Yeah.
What I want to hear this. For everybody listening and tuning in right now, in your comment section, respectively, if you're a Georgia fan, answer what Keon said. If it's close, are you taking Gunner or are you taking Puglisi? I just want to see Gunner or Puglisi in the chat, please.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. And I can tell you, I'll tell you why I'll take Puglisi over Gunner. I may have messed up that first time, but the reason why I'll take Puglisi over Gunner, I'm not gonna lie, Gunner. If we go through the whole course of the spring and the summer, and you telling me that it's close between Gunnar Stockton, who's been here for 3 years, damn near what, 4? What is it? No, 3 years. You've been here for 3 damn years, and you telling me that a kid who ain't been here 2 years yet is close with you, then let's go ahead and roll with the young guy. Straight up.
See, my heart feels that way, Keon, but my brain tells me that Kirby's going to value experience there. So, there you go.
Here's my next question. If that's the case, and you go with a Gunnar Stockton, if it's close between Gunnar Stockton and Ryan Puglisi, we got too many people named Ryan on the roster.
I feel you.
But if it's close between Pug and Stockton, and you go with Stockton, can somebody explain to me how we going to convince a 5-star quarterback to come here and sit for 2 to 3 years? Because that's exactly how that – because unless we get 2 years out of Gunner and then jump direct – so let's say we get Jared Curtis, right? Let's say we get him. We're going to go through 2 years with Gunnar Stockton, and then 2 years we're going to jump directly from Gunnar Stockton to Jared Curtis. What happens to Pug?
It's a good question. Don't really know. I want to see Pug play though.
I do too.
And honestly though, when you look at Gunner and the body of work that we saw this year, I think there were a lot of flashes there, Keon, that could make it work. You see what I'm saying? Like there were some throws that he really made, and it was like, okay, you could do that consistently. We got a fucking situation on our hands, right?
Yeah.
Just saying. However, there was, I think, obviously, in that game, there were some factors outside of his control that were just detrimental, and that's piss poor.
Oh, you're talking about Dylan Bell's hands? Absolutely.
And yeah, it's shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I hope he works on that this summer.
You think so?
I hope so. Because, boy, if he don't, I don't see him. I don't need to see him anywhere out wide. He need to be either behind the quarterback or right beside the quarterback. Because, man.
I do think it'd be nice to see him do some running back, honestly. Utilize him out as a receiving threat out of the backfield.
Bro, because
when he did that, man, it worked. It worked.
Debo Samuel potential. It's there, I promise. Especially out the backfield, shit's crazy. I don't know why he did. It's so crazy. Him actually running the football, it kind of pisses me off that he had the year that he just had.
Oh man, I feel you. We could go down that rabbit hole if you ain't careful, man. Really,
I don't know. Careful. I just look at Dylan Bell and I say, man, you are so. It's almost like cerebral with him when it comes to running the football. So it's like, why were you trying to catch it? Now, granted, shit probably went left. His number got called. You had to answer the call, whatever. But it's just like, if you're going to be in situations where you got to get out there and catch the ball, man, like there were so many plays last year, just out of our wide receiving core as a whole, where I look back and I say, man, if you're able to make a play there, you're able to make a play here, it changes the course of the game. It changes the course of the drive. And we as Georgia fans probably look at this shit different. Coach probably coaches you a little bit different. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's that. You could literally, if I'm not doing this, I'm not going back on this, but you could literally do a whole nother episode on that.
Yeah. No, real shit.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Like, how bad is that Texas game? If man,
well, speaking of Keanu, this is a good transition time here. Georgia hired a new hire. Did you know that?
Yeah. What is it?
Ty Hatcher.
Hatcher.
Yep.
What is that? What? Hatcher. What is that? Kirby's coach?
Yeah, this is what makes it so fun. This is Kirby's first full circle type hire. So Ty's dad, Chris, coached at Valdosta State and gave Kirby his first coaching job at Valdosta State as a grad assistant. And so now Kirby's the head coach of Georgia, and you just bring in Ty Hatcher. And honestly, from the sound of things and whatnot, I think he's like 25 years old, and he's already had stints at Alabama, Alabama, A&M, and then Oklahoma last year.
Damn.
And so I'm looking at this in a sense of I'm getting a good feeling about this just from his position, right? Because he should be helping with the offensive side of the ball. I think we need that. But it seems like it's a good situation for him to come in, because I think he's going to. I mean, you've made stops. Think about it. You're 25 and you've already made stops at Alabama, A&M, Oklahoma. It's crazy to be that young. That's crazy.
Yeah, that means you've been on the ground ever since you was like 22, 23. Yeah.
I want to say, was it? He was at Alabama in 21. So
damn.
Young coaching. So
So, how do you think that impacts our offense?
Well, I would like to say he put his hands on it and help out. I mean, he was under Saban and them in 21, and then he was under Petrino at A&M, and then he was just at Oklahoma. And so now you look at him coming to Georgia, I don't see it being a negative thing by any means, right? You infuse some youth into the offensive side of the ball too. Think about it. His dad did a lot of air raid stuff, so he's got that air raid situation in him. I mean, we've seen Georgia turn into more of a passing style offense anyway. Could that mean something?
Throwing that motherfucker around, boy. Oh!
Could it though? I mean, what do you think?
Hey man. Let her rip, Tater Chip. Bombs over Baghdad.
With all the weapons on receiver too, and tight end as well. I mean, I would love to
throwing the ball.
I would love to see some of that. I think you have to. I mean, we've had these discussions already, but if you bring somebody with an air raid background, I would love to see some infusion within the air raid systems into the offensive scheme. The problem is I don't want to see a full air raid because I think you sacrifice your defense too much in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think if you can come in and develop some plays and air raid concepts within the offense to be more explosive, as long as the execution is there, you should be more than fine, I would assume.
Yeah, man. And I think with this wide receiving core, if things go the way how we want it to,
how do you want it to go, Keon? How do you want it to go?
You know what I wanted? You know what I want to have happen, and this is what I want to have happen. I'll tell you what I want to have happen. Let me tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Right? I want Zachariah Branch to be our 1,000-yard wide receiver. Confirmed. Straight up. 1-0-0-0 passing yards.
You mean receiving yards?
Receiving yards.
Damn, I'm good. I'm fixing your shit.
Crazy. Real life edit on air. I thought I had it. I was in my brain like, yeah, passing yards.
I'm cooking. I'm cooking.
Oh shit. Receiving yards. Edit. I'm talking 1-0-0-0 receiving yards. Regular season. By the time we play Georgia Tech, 1,000 yards. Receiving. Catching the ball. Double-digit touchdowns.
I see what you're doing there. You're getting people wound up. Yeah. Rightfully so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's beautiful, man. What we've just gotten out the portal, I mean, it's real nice.
It's not even out of the portal. It's what you got in this class, too. I genuinely like the receiving core that we brought in from the 25 class.
Hey, let me tell y'all about CJ Wiley.
All right, calm down. Oh, boy.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's Keon right now.
Man, what we got with Taylor, CJ Wiley, and Lyndon, dude, bro. And can't forget Thomas Blackshear. Jeez, it's so nice. It's so nice. We got wide receivers.
We had receivers last year, Keon.
You can't even say that shit without laughing.
I mean, technically, Keon, we did have receivers.
Oh yeah, no, but ones that can catch though, it's this
different
is
question.
Gonna be
different question last year.
I mean, fam, like let's be real. We led the nation in drops. That's so fucking disgusting.
things have to change. They will change. Correct?
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think give me one more time with the name. The new hire, the assistant.
The Ty, you talking about Ty?
Ty, is it Ty or Todd?
Ty. T-Y.
So look, is Ty gonna have like a real input on the offense, you think?
I'd like to say you have some kind of hand on it, and how much is going to be the question. But you don't bring in somebody with that kind of trajectory to not bring in something, you would think. You see what I'm saying?
But
Like,
I'm gonna tell you, right? We inject some, I'll say some air raid type schemes, not even plays, but just schemes, right? Or not, we'll say concepts. Let's say concepts. Some air raid concepts. Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of belt tabs.
in theory, it sounds amazing, for sure. Just saying. Keon, so we've talked about the new hire. I'm excited for him. I think it sounds like you are. You're just giddy like a kid on Christmas, right? I completely understand. Like I said, air raid offensive kind of background and lineage there. I'd love to see that in this offense. Not 100% like concept, like 100% air raid concept. I don't want that, but definitely want to see some infusion. Would be nice. Speaking about that stuff, Keon, Georgia won the SEC championship this year, correct? This past season.
Yep.
Yeah. So with that being said, there's a reason why I posed that is, did you hear Pete Nakos reported on it? And he posted a tweet saying, as future college football formats, as future CFP formats are examined, conferences are looking into reinventing championship weekends. Sources confirmed to On3 Sports, obviously Pete Nakos there, that early discussions for the SEC would have included the possibility of 3 and 4 games. And in the graphic that he had, they mocked them with the 2024 rankings, right? So you're looking at 3 games, right, in one scenario, and then 4 games on championship weekend. There's 2 different models there. Keon, let me break this down to you and everyone listening, just what this would look like. So under the 3-game model, you would have the 1 seed and the 2 seed. You would have Texas versus Georgia. Remember, these are based off of the finished rankings of 2024. So Texas at 1, Georgia at 2, correct? Then you would have Tennessee at the 3rd and South Carolina at 6. So you would that game would be played. And then Alabama, LSU with the Alabama 4, LSU 5. That would be wild. But it gets even crazier. The 4-game model, Keon, you would look at Texas as the 1 versus Ole Miss at the 8. You would have Alabama, LSU being the 4-5, right? Nothing would change there. Georgia would take on Texas A&M, the 2 being the 7, right? And then Tennessee, South Carolina. Keon, how crazy does this sound? It sounds insane. What are your thoughts on that from hearing that? Yeah, you muted, by the way. Keon, you muted.
Not necessarily the biggest fan of it, by the way. I don't think. I think they're doing too much at that point.
I don't really understand it either. I mean, with that being said, to me, the way Pete Nakos had talked about it, right, was they're trying to re-envision conference championship weekend with the playoff expansion. And I think recently there seems to be some, I don't know how accurate this will be, but there's these talks that in 26 you'll see that the committee expand the playoffs of maybe 14 or 16 teams from the current 12. And I think in theory, to help with the expansion, if things go that way, I think this would kind of be almost like your playoffs before the playoffs to see which teams get the seeding, right? Like if that would be the case. I think the reason why I say that is that with the conversion to from 12 to 14 or 16 or whatever it may be, there were talks that the SEC and the Big Ten were trying to get 4 auto bids. So the question there lies, does the conference championship matter at all? Probably not. But you still want to make a ton of money because the conference championship, think about it. Georgia and Bama in conference title games, viewership out the ass, period.
Yeah.
So you want to keep that there, right? So you want to sit there, you want to keep that revenue on championship weekend. And so you're looking at a situation where you could possibly have 3 or 4 games in the SEC after the regular season to determine possibly being the 4 auto bids. Now, I don't understand how the 4-team model would work. I really don't. I really don't, because you're getting to that point where you're getting to be too many games, in my opinion. And I'm talking about just in general. I'm not talking about conference games or anything like that because we already play 8. But just in general, you're going to play those kind of games. It's going to be interesting. To me, it makes sense if you wanted to do that because you want the 4 best to be in if it were to be auto bids. But, I think it would be interesting to see because instead of 1 game, you could have 3 SEC slots, ESPN, all day long, each 3, right? You're like, for instance, in the 3-game model, you could literally put Texas, Georgia at the end, right? Prime time. You could play Tennessee, South Carolina, and then Alabama, LSU in the middle. And viewership would be through the roof, right? But, Keon, I think the main problem there is how does that impact the regular season and the meanings of that? Like, what does that mean? Because I think there's this feeling that people are starting to worry about the meaning of regular season games being diminished. But if you do something like that, I still think the regular season, especially conference schedule, matters, right? The conference aspect of your season will matter because you could potentially play into the playoffs if that would be the case. But what does that mean for just in general? Like, would you see marquee non-con if you know you're getting a guaranteed bid in the SEC? There might be a situation where Big Ten and SEC schools could schedule marquee non-conference and then replay it in the playoffs. That's a possibility too.
No, I definitely feel you.
Motivated and Dedicated said he thinks it's going to be 16 teams, 4 from the SEC and the Big Ten each, 2 from the ACC, 2 Big 12, 4 at large. You got to open the spot up for Notre Dame because they don't want to join the conference. I understand, but nonetheless, any word on Kobe Young? I don't necessarily know yet. I don't think. I mean, in regards to that, I think he'll be on the team, but there's been nothing really official yet. So I'm curious to wait on that. I think Kirby's going to play that quiet and just let him start in the spring camp and just go from there. Because he was already working out with the team before the plea deal was reached anyway. Child of God, thanks for hopping in and saying Gamecocks. Shout out the Gamecocks. And then, so the 4-game model to me, though, Keon, that just didn't make any sense because if you're doing it in one weekend, how does that even work? Like, actually, you know what? I just kind of answered this question to myself. So each of the 4 games, right, Keon, each of those 4 games that were played, the winner would be the auto bid. The winner would be the auto bid.
Yeah, it's too much shit. I think it's stupid. But
I'm with you. I really don't want to see the NFL model. I know you're an NFL guy.
Yeah, just not with this. I feel like the way how they're trying to lay it out, it's too much. They're doing way, 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 way too much. No, this shit's stupid.
But I mean, you got to be careful because Sankey and Big Ten commissioner seem to be going full steam ahead, trying to make the most money off of it.
Well, shit,
I
put
mean,
Ohio State on the schedule and then let's run it. Like y'all got to also understand. We also have to understand as SEC and fans of teams within the conferences. SEC and Big Ten got married, guys. So welcome to the red wedding. Like this
Keon,
is.
I just thought of the craziest proposition, and I think you would. I think you might appreciate this
Let's hear it.
because you watch college basketball. You know how the ACC and the SEC did the ACC SEC champion or challenge.
SEC Big Ten challenge. Hell yes, let's do it.
Set
Georgia,
it over 2 weeks.
we get Michigan.
Set it over 2 weeks early in the season, right? 2 weeks spread out, and then you sit there. You have games. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a set teams from the both conferences will play in that first week, and then the remaining will play in that second week of the 2.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I'm telling you right now, you want to talk about marquee matchups, just hypothetically think here with me, Keon, because I think this would be on to something here.
Alabama versus Ohio State. Let's do it.
No.
Yes.
I won't. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Alabama, Michigan, just to see if they get revenge. Right?
No.
Who would you so you would say Alabama and
Ohio State.
Alabama, Ohio State. What's your logic? I'm not mad. I'm just curious.
2 biggest blue bloods in the sport.
In their conferences? Okay.
So
we're gonna keep Georgia out of this for now. Okay.
Okay. So I go Alabama versus Ohio State.
Okay.
2 of the biggest blue bloods in the sport.
Okay.
2, each of them are the biggest blue blood in their conference. And you're talking about former national championships being decided off of those 2 teams.
Yeah,
the viewership that you would get off of that game alone.
Keon, I want to do this. I feel like this is a perfect one here. Okay, bear with me. Let's try to do it quickly, but reasonably. Let's try to pick every game that would happen.
All right, so you ready?
Hold on. You pick Bama, Ohio State, right? Tell me why I would love to see LSU, Michigan.
Yep.
So you got okay. So I would put Texas, Oregon.
Yep.
No, I take that back.
Texas, Oregon. Yep.
No, or would you see Texas, USC?
Ooh, Texas, USC. Oh man.
Give me Georgia, Oregon. I think you can build a rivalry there.
I would go honestly. I would go.
Hold on. Child of God's got a good point here. Child of God says
I would go
South Carolina versus SoCal.
No.
Okay.
No. So the way I would do it, I would do Alabama versus Ohio State. I would do Georgia versus Michigan.
Georgia, Michigan.
Yes. I would do Georgia versus Michigan. I would do Texas versus USC. I would do Penn State versus either Oklahoma, or I would do Penn State, Tennessee. I would do – actually, no. We're going to go Penn State versus Oklahoma. I would do Tennessee. Give me Tennessee versus Iowa.
I want Florida, Nebraska.
Ooh,
yes. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you finish your list because I'm going to make a graphic for this. I just want to let it
all right. So let me start over real quick. We're going to run through it real quick. So we got Alabama versus Ohio State. We have Georgia versus Michigan. We have Texas versus USC. We have Penn State versus Oklahoma. We have actually give me LSU versus Nebraska. Give me LSU versus Nebraska. Give me Tennessee versus Iowa. Give me South Carolina. Give me South Carolina versus Minnesota. Give me... Oh, shit. I forgot all about Oregon. I forgot all about Oregon.
What about Ole Miss, Oregon for you? I'll help you out.
Ole Miss? Nah. Give me Florida versus Oregon.
Ooh.
Give me Florida versus Oregon. Matter of fact, give me Minnesota versus Ole Miss. Give me Minnesota versus Ole Miss. Give me not USC. Give me South Carolina. Damn, who's left in the conference? Give me 1 second. Hold on, Rob. Give me 30 seconds. Don't say nothing because I'm pulling all of this up so I can look at. All right, hold on.
We should pause for station identification.
All right, here we go. Okay, this is a lot easier. Sorry, I'm gonna fly through this time. I promise. So, matter of fact, Rob, write this down. You ready? We're doing this. This is what happens when you don't do pre-production. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. Give me Alabama versus Ohio State. Give me Georgia versus Michigan. Give me Penn State versus Oklahoma. Give me Tennessee versus Iowa. Give me Texas versus USC. Give me, you know what? Give me not Rutgers. Actually, give me Oregon. Let me get Oregon versus LSU. Oregon versus LSU. Give me Rutgers. Give me Rutgers versus Ole Miss. Give me UCLA versus Mississippi State. Give me Florida versus Nebraska. Give me Texas A&M versus Washington. Give me Wisconsin versus South Carolina. You like that one, don't you, Rob? Yeah. Let me get Michigan State, right? Give me Michigan State versus Arkansas. Give me Nebraska. No, give me Northwestern versus Vandy. Yeah. Give me Vandy versus Northwestern. And who are we putting up against Rutgers?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Is that the last one?
I'll go through them. Count them out. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There should be 2 more games. I think you're missing.
I got one more. Auburn. Let me get
Auburn, Maryland.
Yes. Actually, no. Auburn versus Illinois.
Okay.
And then the final one,
Missouri versus, would it be Maryland?
Yeah.
Missouri, I think there's more. Maryland. Hold on. There's more teams.
There's more teams in the Big Ten. There is more teams in the Big Ten. So
yeah,
I think what would have to happen.
Yeah, because you've got all 16 of the SEC teams, and you're missing Purdue. Yeah, you're missing Purdue. So yeah, Child of God's calling you out, by the way, saying horrible games.
No, not at all.
Keon, do you have access?
Wait. Child of God, which games would have been horrible?
While you do that, really Keon, do you have access? Do you have access to do what I just did for you, or do I need to keep up with myself?
I mean, I can text them to you.
Either's fine with me.
All right, Rob.
Either is fine with me.
Let's take off.
All right, Keon, I'm going. Excuse me. I'm going Alabama, Michigan. I want Alabama, Michigan.
Yep.
I want Georgia and Oregon. No, excuse me, Georgia, Ohio State. I'll take Georgia, Ohio State.
I like that.
I want Tennessee versus Oregon. I want Penn State. I want Penn State and Penn State, Texas. No, Oklahoma. Excuse me. I want Penn State, Oklahoma. You're right. Because I want Texas, USC afterwards. I want Ole Miss versus Iowa.
Yep.
I want South Carolina to take on Wisconsin. I like that one. That was a real good one.
I'm telling you.
I want UCLA. To take on Kentucky.
Okay, I like the blue on blue action.
I want Florida and Washington.
Okay.
I want Texas A&M to go up against Michigan State.
Yep.
I want which SEC teams do I have now?
So you got Alabama, Auburn. Oh wait, no, you're missing Auburn.
Okay.
You got Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, uh, Oklahoma, Texas, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Kentucky, Florida, Texas A&M.
So I want Auburn. I want Auburn, Maryland. The Battle of the Under Armours. Well, actually, Auburn's going Nike though, aren't they?
I still like that though.
Okay. I want Kentucky.
You already got them versus UCLA.
That's right. That's right. Mississippi State. I want Mississippi State. I want Mississippi State and Rutgers. Do I have UCLA?
UCLA
available?
is playing Kentucky.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure I remember this. I want Missouri and Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
I want Arkansas. I want Arkansas. I want Arkansas to go up against Illinois. That's how many games do I got there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Okay, so which two SEC schools am I missing again? Is it Vandy?
Yep.
Vandy Northwestern. Battle of the
I'm
Nerds.
telling you that makes sense. That just makes sense.
It does. It does. And then last school I'm missing from the SEC is who?
Ole Miss, Mississippi State. So, Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Already said Florida, right?
Yep, Florida versus Washington.
Yeah.
You might have all of them because we got Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Kentucky, Florida, Texas A&M, Auburn, Mississippi State, Missouri, Arkansas, and then Vandy.
I counted 15. I'm missing one. But who?
Hold on. Let me pull up the
Vanderbilt. Tennessee. I said Tennessee, right, already?
You did.
Yeah.
LSU.
Oh, fuck.
LSU.
Oh, God. How did I forget LSU all the way down there? Ooh. Oh, shit. LSU. I don't even know what teams are left in the Big Ten by this point.
I here's the thing, right? Because for the listeners, we never had this conversation up until now.
Yeah.
So all of this, we're working this out live in action. Here's what I would do.
Oh, I got it. LSU, Indiana.
So you want to roll with Indiana? You sure?
Yeah, I'm going LSU, Indiana to wrap up my 16.
Move nobody around. You just want to.
I'm good. LSU, Indiana would be fun to watch. So we're gonna make graphics to see what people think about this. It took a while, but this is the perks of literally on the fly drafting this up.
Check your text.
Okay. All right, Keon. So I've got here you go. For clarity's sake here, okay?
So
I'm gonna read your 16.
And then I'll read yours.
Hold on. Now, question for you. Do you want to put Indiana anywhere? Do you want Indiana in the 16 games?
Yes.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read your 16, and you tell me who to swap out.
All right, cool.
Okay. So Keon's SEC versus Big Ten challenge would consist of Alabama versus Ohio State, Georgia versus Michigan, Penn State versus Oklahoma, Tennessee versus Iowa, Texas versus USC, Oregon versus LSU, Rutgers versus Ole Miss, UCLA versus Mississippi State, Florida versus Nebraska, Texas A&M versus Washington, Wisconsin versus South Carolina, Michigan State versus Arkansas, Northwestern versus Vandy, Rutgers. You got Rutgers there, so Rutgers is twice. Do you want Indiana versus Ole Miss, or do you want Indiana versus Kentucky?
Indiana versus Ole Miss.
Okay. So we called it ourselves here. Okay. So I'm going to redo all right, now that we've got that squared away, Keon, your final order is as follows. Everyone listening, this is what it is. Alabama versus Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Penn State, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Iowa, Texas, USC, Oregon, LSU, Indiana, Ole Miss, UCLA, Mississippi State, Florida, Nebraska, A&M, Washington, Wisconsin, South Carolina, Michigan State, Arkansas, Northwestern, Vandy, Rutgers, Kentucky, Auburn, Illinois, and Missouri, Maryland.
Yeah.
I think that's a good list. All right,
I think it's a real solid list. I'm not wrong.
Here is mine. Alabama, Michigan. So Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Oregon, Penn State, Oklahoma, Texas, USC, Ole Miss, Iowa, South Carolina, Wisconsin, UCLA, Kentucky, Florida, Washington, A&M, Michigan State, Auburn, Maryland, Mississippi State, Rutgers, Mizzou, Purdue, Arkansas, Illinois, Vandy, Northwestern, and LSU, Indiana. I know that took a long time for those listening, and if you stuck through and listened to this at the end, I applaud you and I appreciate you.
Seriously. Now, granted, next time, Rob, we should have this discussion before we get on.
Keon, this, by the way, if you ever wondered if there's a script to the DGD podcast, I think we just answered your question.
There's not.
Just letting it be known. So keep that in mind.
But I appreciate everybody to making it this far in the podcast, man.
I know, right?
We're really at the end of it all, and honestly, I'm about to fire up a space and then have this conversation on a space. Hey, can you, while we're here, right now, can you text me that list of mine?
I'll get it to you. Yeah, I'll have to send it through your Twitter if that's okay, because I did on my computer.
Yeah. Send it through Twitter.
Okay.
But I appreciate everybody for showing up.
Yeah, we're gonna get off here because we kind of went over what we were expecting. We appreciate everybody for sticking through, whether you're watching or if you're listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and you're down to the end of the show. We appreciate you. If you liked the lists that we had, like the stream, right? Like it. If you didn't, drop a comment. Let us know you didn't like it, right? I want to leave this as for anybody watching this now or in the future. Hypothetical SEC Big Ten challenge. Give us your 16 games. Understand that Big Ten has 18 teams. Give us the 16 teams within this challenge. Give us 16 games. Drop your list in the comments below. We're going to put a graphic on social media. Drop them there too. drop them there too. With that being said, though, Keon, any final thoughts on tonight's show? Let's wrap this thing back up.
All aboard. We got new people joining in. Ty, get in. Get to your cabin. Be prepared. Because people are wondering, look at that. What's that coming down the track?
What's that coming down the track?
It's the meme machine in red and black.
It's the meme machine in red and black.
Ain't nothing finer in the land.
Ain't nothing finer in the land
than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Sick 'em.
Folks, thanks for tuning in to the DGD Podcast. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We're going to end on that note because that's a damn good way to do it. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch y'all next time. Go Dogs.